little story for you.
Okay.
There was a lady, and she was watching television. She was in a nursing home environment, and she seemed a little despondent. So I walk into the room and I said, "Hi, Mrs. Smith." That's a generic name, HIPAA compliance. Anyway, "Hi, I'm Dr. Zang. I'm going to be your foot doctor today. I was wondering how I can best serve your needs today." And she says, "I do have long toenails. Can you please check them for me?" I said, "Well, of course I can. I'll be so happy to do that. So, may I have your permission to take off your shoes and socks?" And she said, "Yes." And I said, "Okay, we're going to do 4 medically necessary components to your examination before I actually get to any kind of procedure that is correlative to your pain syndrome." Her dermatological manifestations of any kind of circulatory problems. And then we checked if there's hair growth, we checked the turgor and the temperature and how much subpapillary venous plexus filling time there was. These are all technically important things that justify any kind of medical procedure. We checked her musculoskeletal imbalance, like if she has any bony prominences or any foot deformities, if there's any places on that would be rubbing on her shoe that would cause pain and irritation. And then, of course, we checked her neurological sensorium to see if she actually had enough protective threshold in order to notice if there was something going on that shouldn't be going on. So we used a tuning fork, we used a reflex hammer, we used a 5.07 monofilament wire to check for protective threshold. We used a Q-tip for soft touch. We used a vibratory tuning fork to check to see if she has vibration proprioception intact. We moved her foot around and said, "Oh, can you feel the toe in this position? Is the foot in this position?" So after we got done with those qualifying tests, then we did a visual inspection of in between her toes, around her cuticles, her arch, her forefoot, the heels. I checked her legs to see if there's any manifestations of peripheral vascular disease or atherosclerosis obliterans. And then I said, "Aha, Mrs. Smith, I know what's going on." And she says, "What?" I said, "Unfortunately, you have very poor blood flow. And as a consequence, you have a hypersensitivity to your nerves. So you know what we're going to do?" She goes, "I don't know." I said, "We're going to trim your toenails. And I'm going to give you a series of little exercises that you can do while you're sitting around or in bed or watching television in order to get your circulation flowing." And she goes, "Oh, that'll be different and fun. Thank you, Dr. Zang." And we did our toenail tune-up, and we were telling jokes, and she was telling me stories about her life, and then we were all done. And then I said, "Well, you know, this is not just any ordinary tune-up. This is a fantastic, fabulous foot care flower day." And she was like, "Really? Oh, I love flowers." And she took the precious flower and she goes, "Oh, look, there's 3 little flowers, one for my daughter, one for my son, and one for my husband. I love it. Thank you for the symbolism of today." I said, "You're welcome." So we can do it one of 2 ways. I could either wait for your call or I can come to see you and we can make an appointment. She says, "Oh yes, I would like to make another appointment." I'm like, "Okay." So we did that. And that way there's a continuity of care for people. There is something to look forward to. And of course we created rapport at the time. So that's what I try to do in both the assisted living facilities and the nursing homes. And it's really catered to if they're male, if they're female, what their cognition level is, what their expectations are, how debilitated they are, needs to be taken into account. What are the comorbidities that they have? And I have the privilege of being on the physician team. So if nursing needs to be intervened, if physical therapy needs to come in, if another specialist needs to be called, if the general medical doctor or attending physician needs to be notified of something, we have this whole team that's accessible. Some are there in the facilities, some are called in outside, but it's really nice to be able to provide appropriate, loving, gentle care for people who otherwise could feel isolated. And that's what I'm up to. I'm up to creating community and some levity in their day.